Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Data Analyst Skills Pathway. I'm Sam, and today we are learning the art of anticipation. We are diving into Skill 51, S51, identify barriers to effective analysis encountered both by analysts and their stakeholders within data analysis projects. This is the risk management skill. It's about learning to spot problems before they happen. Imagine a pilot. They don't just jump in and fly. They do a pre-flight check on the ground. They look for leaks, cracks, and bad weather. S51 is your pre-analysis checklist. Our goal is to give you a structured process for identifying barriers, turning a source of uncertainty into a professional strength. An identified barrier is a risk you can manage. An unidentified barrier is a failure waiting to happen. Let's decode the standard. S51 asks us to look at two sides of the coin: internal barriers faced by you and external barriers faced by them. Analyst barriers are technical. Maybe the data quality is poor, K54, or you simply don't have access to the SQL database. Maybe your laptop isn't powerful enough to process the dataset. Stakeholder barriers are human. Maybe they lack data literacy and can't read your chart. Maybe they don't trust the source, K58. Or maybe, quite commonly, there is a political barrier. The data shows their team is underperforming, so they resist it. Your process is to scan for these, categorize them, and log them in a risk register. Let's look at the first category, data barriers. This links back to S48. Before you commit to a deadline, run a health check on the data. Check for incompleteness. If 30% of rows have no customer ID, you can't join that table. That is a barrier. Check for inconsistency. Are dates mixed up between US and UK formats? That will break your time series analysis. Check for latency. Is the data live or 2 days old? If the stakeholder needs real-time alerts, old data is a barrier. Use tools like Python pandas or simple SQL counts. Identify these technical barriers before you start the real work. Next, stakeholder barriers. You find these during the briefing phase, K53. The most common barrier is the vague ask. Just look at the data and tell me something interesting. This is a trap. The barrier here is a lack of success criteria. You will never finish. Then there is the HiPPO barrier, the highest paid person's opinion. If they want sales to be up, they might reject data that says sales are down. That is confirmation bias. And there is the black box fear. If they don't trust the method, they won't use the output. Use active listening. If they hesitate or ask the same question twice, you have identified a barrier. Log it. Once you identify a barrier, don't keep it a secret. Create a barrier log or risk register. Create a table. Column 1, the barrier. Missing email addresses. Column 2, type. Data quality. Column 3, impact. Hi, we physically cannot send the marketing campaign. Column 4, mitigation. Ask IT to fix the extraction logic. This is a powerful professional move. It shifts the problem from being your fault because you didn't deliver to being a project risk that we must solve together. Share this log with your stakeholder. How does S51 apply to you, then the data analyst? Scenario: you need to analyze website traffic. You log into Google Analytics and see a small yellow warning, data is sampled. You identify a data barrier. The numbers aren't 100% accurate. Then, the director emails, compare this to app traffic. You realize they track sessions differently. You identify a stakeholder barrier, misalignment of definitions. You don't just ignore these. You log them. Barrier, data sampling. Impact, accuracy plus or minus 5%. Mitigation, use BigQuery for raw data. You have managed the risk. Here is how you can apply S51 tomorrow. Action 1, scan. Before you start your next piece of work, stop. Then 15 minutes. Write down 3 things that could go wrong. Data might be late. Stakeholder is on holiday. You are scanning for barriers. Action 2, ask. Ask your stakeholder directly, what is your biggest worry about this project? Their answer will reveal the hidden barrier. Maybe they don't trust the legacy system. Action 3, log. Add a risks section to your next update email. Current risks, data latency. Make discussing barriers normal. It shows confidence, not weakness. For your portfolio, use STAR. This is the risk manager story. Situation: we were migrating our reports to a new Power BI system. Task: I needed to identify potential blockers that would stop the business from adopting the new tool. Action: I surveyed the users and identified a significant data literacy gap. They didn't know how to filter charts. I also audited the old Excel reports and found hidden calculation errors that would conflict with the new system. I created a risk register to track and manage these barriers. Result: we identified the need for training early. The migration was smooth because we fixed the barriers before launch. Reflection: I learned that proactive identification prevents reactive firefighting. In your major project, S51 is your risk assessment chapter. Include a risk matrix. Plot your barriers on a grid of likelihood versus impact. List the specific barriers. Risk, incomplete dataset. Mitigation, I used mean imputation to fill the gaps. Include a stakeholder analysis. I identified that the finance team would reject a web dashboard, so I ensured an Excel export was available. This proves you managed the project environment, not just the code. Let's wrap up. We've learned that S51 is about being the analyst's radar. We identify internal barriers like data quality and external barriers like stakeholder trust. We use a barrier log or risk register to manage them. Your next step is to create a risk register for your current project. List just 3 things. In our next session, we will look at S52, where we move back to the technical side and learn techniques for quantitative analysis, using math and algorithms to solve the problems we've defined. Remember, don't fear the barrier. Plot it, name it, and manage it. See you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you now feel more confident in mastering this topic. If you found value in this session, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and follow our channel. It really means a lot to me and helps the algorithm show these lessons to other apprentices, just like you, who need support. Don't forget, you can download today's slides and the full transcript at www.mentorinai.com EPA Hub. While you are there, check out our mock interview and portfolio review services to make sure you are fully ready for your EPA. See you in the next video. Keep learning.